Well, it's here, Ghostbusters Month. The movie is less than a month away now. We're very, very excited. And we're going to be taking a look at Ghostbusters products the entire month. So every time you tune in, it'll be another Ghostbusters product. We're going to start out with some of the newer stuff. We're going to go back to slightly older stuff, but most of the stuff has all been released in the past couple of years. But we're going to start out with our 2024 releases, and that is going to be Hasbro bringing back the Fright Features collection and the classic line. Now, if you remember back in 2021, they brought back the real Ghostbusters line with the classically carded figures, and those were all a Walmart exclusive, at least initially, before some other sellers started selling them. But right now, these are a Target exclusive, the Fright Features line, at least initially. So don't fear if you can't find them at Target or get them off the website, because if you might have been paying attention to Entertainment Earth last month, I think, basically they jumped the gun and put up pre-orders for April for these figures because they will be wide release in April. So you should be able to get these anywhere at that point. But right now they are a Target exclusive. You can find them on shelves at Target, which we had several times. You can find them on the website. Occasionally they restock, which we got at least one of these from online shopping. So there'll be an abundance pretty soon. Don't worry if you weren't able to get them when they first dropped in late January, early February. There will be plenty of these guys to go around for everybody. So don't give in to scalper prices on eBay. So first, I want to just check out this amazing packaging. And I absolutely love this style of Kenner artwork on these cards. For Ray here, you can see him jumping scared to the ghost here that he has with the call out of the figure here. This packaging is pretty much the same as the original style, except for the back. They would be featuring more characters on the back of these cards. Traditionally, they have the entire product line, but you can see I love that fun features like Egon with the tie there, and then you come over here and you got Peter with his little ghosts, and they're showing off both the feature of the character, the ghost that it comes with, and then the action function of the character as well. And then we got Winston over here, and for me, this was the hardest one to track down. Not just me, but all my friends had the same problem. Finding Winston was really tricky for some reason. I don't know if it's because Hasbro made less of him, or if I don't know. That would be my only assumption. But now I'm starting to see him on shelves. But he's the one we had to get through the online shop because we just could not find him. I want to say Ray was the most common. I wonder if they pack like 2 of him per case. Egon was the second most common, and then Peter took a little while, and then Winston was the last one we tracked down. But for some reason, there were an abundance of these and not so many of these too. So I don't know how the case assortment is. I guess we'll find out when those Entertainment Earth pre-orders go back up for full cases, but these ones were way easier to find than these two. But now I'm starting to see Winston out there, so you'll be able to complete your set. So these are absolutely amazing. I love this Kenner style throwback. If you watch me on rebelscum.com and the videos I do there, you'll see my appreciation for Kenner when we take a look at the jumbos that Gentle Giant is doing. And then, we love the retro style figures too. So we're definitely fans of the old world method of making toys. And it's awesome that they have brought these back. Now, I still have my originals, so there's not much difference, except my Egon tie is broken on my original, because it was just hard not to break that tie. But on these newer ones, it's great to be able to get these back in pristine condition and be able to show them off to a new generation, because they're just really fun. I mean, toys... they just had a lot more going on back then. Now it's all about like how realistic do they look if they're capturing a movie likeness, or how amazing they look compared to a comic book likeness or something. But just having these goofy characters that don't really look much like anything and just have fun with them. So great to get these back. We're going to crack open all of them, although I regret it because I just absolutely love having them on display on the artwork like this with these bright colors, offsetting on these dark colors, and it just takes up a lot of room. And if you've seen around my room here, it's kind of crowded. It's mostly Star Wars stuff, but I don't have a lot of room. I had to start spilling over into another area, and I just can't take up all this wall space. It would be great, but it's also great to display these guys on a shelf, which I'm going to start doing soon. So up to you. I mean, if you could be one of those people that get 2 sets and then displays them. They retail for $14.99 each, so I don't know if I want to spend the money to get a second set. But they display great. They display great alongside your real Ghostbusters if you got those from Walmart initially. But yeah, let's just hop in and check these out.
All right, and here we go. We're going to be taking a look at our Fright Features figures. I'm going to start with Ray, one of my favorite here, the heart of the Ghostbusters, and I think one of the more interesting characters, particularly on the show. I'm going to do my standard patent opening here, where I just go in that 90-degree angle. I don't want to ruin these cards. I just told you how much I love them. I love that classic color look to them and the little fun artwork that's on these things, and I just don't want to ruin them. So this is typically the best way to get it without tearing the base where the plastic bubble connects to. So yeah, this generally works. So taking a look at Ray here in the packaging, you can see him here with his accessories on the flanking him on the right here, his little weapon and his little ghost. And that's basically what each of these characters have. They each have these little different weapons, these colorful weapons, and then they have these little ghosts here that come with them. And then you have the character here, and this is a character that I think has held up very well over time. My original one still looks pretty much exactly like this. It hasn't broken, hasn't lost its functionality or its color. So it's held up pretty well. So it's a solid design for this figure. So you can see Ray here, and Ray with his essentially his Fright features. What you squeeze the arm and it makes the head pop up here, just like this. And that functionality is kept alive over the last 30 years. That hasn't faded or fallen apart. Almost 40 years, actually. So pretty well designed to this figure. And then his weapon here just kind of slinks onto the arm. Not a proton pack, not a neutrino wand. Like usually he has this weird little claw thing. And each of these weapons are sort of suited for these ghosts they come with too. So you got right here with his weapon, and it fits on the little... in the mouth or the maw of this giant ghost here. It fits perfectly in to grip him just like that. And this one is called the jail jaw ghost. So you can see how it fits with his jail jaw ghost. And he's got his Fright feature for when he's afraid. So it's just kind of perfect for this thing here. And then the other feature he has is you see how they have these little horns on his head. On the back of the card, you're seeing the instructions for how it just grips his arm. And all the characters sort of have this duality where they have an additional function where the ghost does something in addition to the to just being held here. But if you want, you can just put him in here like this, and then this is basically how Ray is displayed. So it's fun. I mean, he's got this great Fright feature. That's what I really love about the character. That doesn't get old doing that there. And then he's got this weird little translucent ghost that comes with him. Pretty much like the first wave of the real Ghostbusters figures too. They all included those translucent ghosts. And then we have Egon here, and he also has a gimmick to him in addition to having his Fright features. Egon, like I was saying, he's one of those characters where it didn't really stand the test of time because it was just easy to break. And it was that tie. Like, I rarely see an Egon, original Egon Fright feature figure that has the tie intact. I mean, that thing just snapped off. I don't know if we were just more reckless as kids or if it was just really easy to break that. But yeah, my current Egon just has a little nub on it. So I'm glad to have an Egon again that has a tie that is not broken. So here's Egon here with his ghost and his little weapon. Again, perfectly suited for the ghost. So we get this little ghost out here, and this one is called a sore throat ghost. Sore throat ghost, I guess, with the long neck on there, which is fun because that kind of matches the Fright feature of Egon here, which I'll show you in just a moment. But again, he's got the great bright neon colors here. He's got a yellow weapon this time, so keeping that color pattern. And here we go. We have our Egon Spangler figure, and then we'll do a little test on his Fright feature, and you can see how his neck extends as the tie jumps up. So a little bonus Fright feature. It's not just the head moving, but he's got an article of clothing that's popping up as well. And that mimics that ghost I was just telling you about, the sore throat ghost with the long neck. But you can see that there and why that tie is so fragile. So again, just like Ray, this little gun blaster wand thingy, claw grabber, whatever it is, kind of just hops onto the arm here. And this one actually has a handle in it, so he could put it inside his hand for a little more support. The Ray one didn't have a little knob to hold on to, so a little bit more secure in there. And then it's perfectly fitted again. Here he goes with his Fright features, perfectly fitted again for that sore throat ghost. So he's just going to pop right into this little thing, and he holds him perfectly. So that mesh is really nice. And then, of course, all these figures, like I said, in the back of the card, have a sort of duality, a second purpose. And this one, you just kind of hold it like a weapon. I don't really get it, but that's how it was designed. I guess just a second use, or he's biting his hand. I don't know, but that's just something that they could do there. So it's just a fun little additional feature to go with Egon. But you could basically use this little ghost grabber to just sort of hold your guy. And yep, here's his Fright feature, and then that's it. So Egon, one of my favorite characters, looks pretty good in his Fright feature mode here as well. Of course, in addition to the Fright features, there was the Super Fright features, was the next line after that. And those guys were so scared they were popping out of they're like ghost suits. They had these protective suits they wore on top of them, and then they broke out of those. That's how scared they got. So hopefully we'll see those remade at some point in the future too. Those were a little bit more fun. So also we got Peter here. Peter here has a really oddly shaped ghost and a really unique weapon. It's a little frustrating, and I'll show you why in a moment. Just as frustrating as this card is here, and a little bit stuck there. But yeah, it's one of the more frustrating weapons. It doesn't perfectly hold the ghost. You got to kind of have to balance it on there. So here we go with the tray, and again, you could see the contents here. Here's this really weird hook blaster I was telling you about, and you can kind of see like a little nub on there where it's kind of like a proton wand attached to it as well. Here is that dual ghost that it comes with, and there's the hook. And the dual ghost is like two ghosts attached to the middle here. And then we have our Peter. And Peter's Fright feature is his hair comes off like a toupee, and his eyes bulge out, and his mouth opens. So he's got a lot going on with this one. So very, very fun, essentially. So not as bright of a color scheme of his. He's got that more gray on there. But yeah, it still works. So like Egon, but not like Ray, he also has the nub there to hold this little claw type of thing. And then this is your gruesome, twosome ghost, and you're supposed to balance it on the hook here. It doesn't really, at least it doesn't really snap in well for me, but you can see him balancing on there. And then again, the second feature is to wear it like a scarf. I don't really get that one, but that's how they have it showing you in the artwork in the back. And he gets scared as he's wearing his fashionable ghost scarf. But that is the alternate mode for Peter there. Yeah, it's just a little weird, but these figures are a little weird with these Fright features. It's a fun little gimmick, and that's what these characters are really about. Well, last but not least is Winston. It was the most frustrating for me to get in this line. Like I said, he was just sold out everywhere. And I don't know, again, if it's because Hasbro makes less of him or if he's just really popular, but good for Winston. It's been tough to track this guy down. I want to say on the reissue, the Real Ghostbusters line, it was also hard to get Winston. So just odd. At either rate, here he is and his pack. He's got some colorful features with those purple gloves and those yellow boots. He's got that ghost there called the Scream Roller Ghost. This one has one of the odder features as well, the secondary features, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But there's no name for these weapons, and this one is kind of weird, and I'll show you in just a second. But here's your ghost, very similar to the orange gel jaw ghost, but a little bit tougher. And then this weapon here, it's kind of like a mallet. It's the weirder of the four. The other ones are either grabbers with hooks or claws, and this one is just like a smasher. So I don't know, but it's perfectly suited. Every weapon is perfectly suited to the ghost. So Winston here has the most extreme Fright feature of all the Ghostbusters. And you can see here his head spins, or there's 180, but if you get it right, it goes almost all the way around. Here's a 180 of the head. Oh, getting a little bit more, 270. I think I could almost get it around, but yeah, it's totally bizarre. Open mouth, head spinning all the way around, kind of look on there. And yeah, oh, there we go, 360. Yeah, It's bizarre. It's the craziest, most overemphasized version of the Fright features. So again, he holds it in his hand just like the other guys here. It's kind of form-fitting, a really snug fit, but it's a little bit odder because it's not a grabber or anything. It ends up grabbing the ghost, but it's more of a smasher, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. But he's got a scared Fright feature, and the ghost here just sits on top of this thing. I don't know if it's resting or he caught it somehow, but that's it. Like, that is how you catch the ghost on this one. And then the second feature, basically it just becomes like a hat. Like, it just fits in there and allows you to spin. His head still has the Fright feature. It still spins around, and it just kind of fits on his head. That's how they want you to do it. So it's weird. But it's kind of goofy and entertaining at the same time. And that was kind of what the real Ghostbusters was about. It was colorful. Let me see if it fits on other heads. Take a look at Peter. I think Peter would be difficult because of the toupee and the eyes bugging out. So I don't think it'll really work with him here. Let's see. Give it a test. Nah, I don't think that's gonna work with the eyes bugging out. We could try taking off the scarf. It doesn't go down far enough to really work. Let's see. It's not gonna work on Ray because of the head, but maybe Egon. Let's see if Egon works. And Egon, no, I don't think it really sits on there right. I think Winston's the only one it really works with. Yeah, it's Ray's goggles there are too big. So I think Winston's the only one it really works with, and it doesn't mess up the Fright feature. So yeah, I mean, things like Egon's ghost you could use with anybody. Ray's ghost you could probably use with any. Yeah, you could use it here at Winston. And Peter's ghost, of course, it's a scarf. You could put it on anybody, but this one really only works with Winston. So yeah. It's just how they kind of designed it. So here is your wave of Fright Features figures by Hasbro, out in stores right now, or out in Target right now. And yeah, this is a great wave. Totally love this. Really glad they brought it back just in time for the 40th anniversary.
And that is our look at the Classic Kenner Fright Features line from Hasbro, resurrected from the 80s. Love it. Really glad to see this line back again. It's amazing. It's fun. It's on stores right now. Like we said, it's a Target exclusive. Just currently, they retail for $14.99. If you can't get them at Target, which we're starting to see them more and more on the shelves, so it should be easy. We'll have a couple of links in this article as well. If you can't get them at Target, you can start getting them at fan channels like Entertainment Earth. They should be listing them soon for April timeframe. So around April, just pop back to those websites, maybe Big Bad as well, and you should see them listed there for to get the whole set, so you don't have to go hunting for them. But it's a great line. Like I said, it's fun. The card backs are fun with this classic artwork on here, and they're just fun to display if you have the space. Apologize if you noticed the background changed on mid-video there. Had an issue with the sound, had to reshoot this a week later, and if you tune in next week, you'll see why the background has changed as we get into Slimer Week next week. But we still have more Ghostbusters this week. There's another new product I'm going to show you on Thursday that's new for 2024 as well. So tune back for that. Tune back for the whole month. We're going to be doing Ghostbusters the whole month. We have some new products this week. Next week is Slimer Week. The week after that will be Wand Week. We'll be taking a look at props and prop replicas. And then we're going to wrap it up with Real Ghostbusters Week. So we're going to have a ton of Ghostbusters this month. So please stay tuned for more Ghostbusters news. Next month, back to normal. It's going to be mostly on Turtles. There's a lot of new Turtle drops from NECA. And there's also Turtle drops from Super 7 and a couple other companies as well. We're going to be getting to those, so just stay tuned for that. But this month, all things Ghostbuster. Excited about the movie in just 2.5 weeks now. So yeah, as we get ready for that, keep tuning back, and we'll be showing you guys some really interesting products, some inspired by the movie, some from the movie, some promotional items from the movie. So we have more surprises in store in the next 2 weeks. So that's all for this time. As always, like, subscribe, and follow, and we'll see you guys next time.